Hello, and welcome to my video on how to clean VCRs, CD players, and small electronics to resell on eBay. What we're looking at here is a Philips Magnavox VCR DVD player combo, 91% alcohol. These are some of the things we're going to need. A foam Q-tip applicator and a number 2 screwdriver. So go ahead, there's 4 screws on the top. We're going to go ahead and remove the 4 screws and take the top off. Over here to the left is a magnetic tray that I use to go ahead and save my screws to keep everything nice and organized. Once we remove the 4 screws, and this basically slides backwards and off. And inside here on the bottom, you'll see that's the components for the DVD player, and then near the top is for the VCR. And what I do is I go ahead and wet the applicator with the alcohol and then get off as much excess as possible. Make sure that the unit is also unplugged. You do not want to do this while it is plugged in. Then what you're going to do is take the foam applicator, you're going to start cleaning all the different little posts. There's various little pulleys and rubber parts on the inside here. Sensors, different things of that nature. Here's a better view. So go through, you're going to clean all of these. The reason we want to use alcohol, and especially a high number, is less impurities, and it does dry very quickly. So you won't have to wait very long before you can start using it after you've cleaned all of this. That right there is the VCR head, and I'll be doing a better close-up of how to clean that. So go ahead. See, there's a nice shot right there. There's like the actual heads you can see when I spin it. It's like kind of looks like a little mark right there, or a notch. That's the actual VCR head. So you want to be very careful when you're cleaning those. Be very gentle with the actual VCR head. Next here, there's 2 screws. We're going to be removing this circuit board in order to get access to the laser for the DVD player. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these 2 screws out. I'm having a little problem with the first one there, but then there we go, there's the second one. And then there's a little ribbon cable right here. We're going to need to unplug this ribbon cable in order to move this circuit board to have access to clean the laser. So here in the next part, I'm going to show you how to unplug this circuit board. So here we go. We're going to unplug it. It's just a little ribbon cable. Sorry. You just go ahead and pull that to unplug it. Then you're going to just take the circuit board and just fold it over here to the side. Then we're going to use a regular Q-tip. You could use the one with the foam applicator and the alcohol. I'm just going to take this dry Q-tip, and you can see the little laser right there, and just gently press against it and clean it. Don't go crazy, just nice and gentle. There could be oil or grease, some sort of buildup on the lens that could prevent it from reading discs. So that's why we want to go ahead and just gently clean that with a Q-tip, and go ahead and push the ribbon cable back in. It pulls out and then it gently slides back in. Then once you're done cleaning, just go ahead and take the screws and from the tray, put it back together. I have sped up this video. It is running at about 1.25 times faster. It took me 15 minutes to clean this VCR DVD combo, another DVD player, and another VCR. So 5 minutes basically 5 minutes each to clean 3 different items. So 15 minutes. So that gives you an idea. You should be able to, if you get a VCR, you should be able to clean it in 5 minutes, no problem. Here, I'm showing you how to clean the head of the VCR better. Just go ahead and hold the foam applicator against it, and then you can rotate it with your finger. Now, when you see me rubbing it, you want to make sure you're not doing that against the actual VCR head. You just want to on the tops and the bottom of the VCR head you can kind of scrub, but then the actual VCR head you want to do it more gentle. So here's a Pioneer DVD player, and in this part there's 4 screws on the back, 2 along the top, 1 on each side on the back. You can see the one right there. That will be the last one to come out on the back side. And then there's going to be 2 on each side. So we're going to go ahead and there we go. There's the last one on the back, and then there will be the 2 on each side. Again, this is just another example. The first machine I did was a combo. I wanted to show you what a single device might look like, a single unit. Again, we're going to use the same tools and same products. Then we're going to pop the back cover off of this one. Actually, this one has a removable cord too, so I do not make sure it's not plugged in, but I don't even have the cord connected to the Pioneer DVD player. So this cover is actually on there quite good. So there we go. So here the tray, a lot of times these trays, the top part is screwed down. This one just snaps in. It's got 2 clips. So I'm going to push in on these 2 clips. So right here I'm going to push in on the 2 clips with my finger and then lift up, and it comes right off. There you go. There you can see the laser. Another good rule of thumb is to use, if it's really dusty inside, is to use an air compressor or a compressed air can and blow out as much dust as possible. Blow out all the dust first and then go back and wipe and then basically clean the laser. So I'm just kind of wiping down some of the dirt and dust. And then I'll be wiping down the laser again and the little where it sits on where the actual CD sits too. I'm going to clean that. So whatever you want to do, you can use the foam applicator or you can use the Q-tip. All right, here we are, still cleaning the I think it's the spindle where the DVD or the CD sits, so I went ahead and cleaned that. Now I'm pointing to, there's a couple of rails inside. Basically the laser moves along a couple of rails with gears, and sometimes there's a lithium grease on there, and sometimes that grease actually dries out. So you can get some lithium grease and also grease those rails if you want. So I just snapped the top part back on, and I'm going to go ahead and put on the cover. And then you put the screws back in and you're all set, ready to go. Now here is just a regular VCR, no combo. Again, this one has screws on the top too, which is actually really nice and convenient, easy. And here we are, taking off the cover. Go ahead and check out the inside here. It looks like a typical VCR. Again, we're going to go ahead and clean everything. Oh, right there is a fuse down inside. So sometimes you might buy something and it might not power on at all, and you can take off the cover and look for a fuse, and that might be an easy fix. There's also a belt. I was pointing on that side. There's a belt, and you can use your finger and you can check to see how tight the belt is. If the belt's really loose, sometimes replacing the belt will also help. But here you go, again, just cleaning everything with the alcohol and the foam applicator. I'm just going to go through, clean the sensors, clean all the different parts. If you're curious what needs to be cleaned, you can put a tape in there while you have the lid off, turn it on, and then watch how the tape gets pulled around the VCR head, and you can see all the parts that touch the actual tape, and then just go back and make sure you clean all those. Also, if your VCR tape gets stuck inside, you can basically take off the lid to get your VCR tape out. So just another little tip. But here again, I'm going to clean the head. See, I'm just holding it against the head like this and then spinning it with my finger on the top here. Then when you see there's not a part of the head, then you can kind of scrub around to help clean it. So again, this is just another example from the VCR DVD combo. This is a separate example just to give you an idea. Again, I think it took me 15 minutes for all three, so 5 minutes each. Go ahead, pop the screws back in, and you're all done. I would just wait a couple minutes for the alcohol to completely dry, and you should be good to go. Now, there's no guarantee that this is going to fix it if it's not working, but this definitely helps. So the next part here is I'm going to be using a product called Deoxit. A lot of times you'll buy like a boombox, a Panasonic. I buy the Panasonic tape recorders and whatnot, and then when you go to adjust the volume, you get all this static. Well, basically that's dirt and corrosion inside your volume control knobs and other knobs. So what you can do is, if you take the knob off and you look down inside and see if there's any space to spray like this product Deoxit down inside. And then what you do is you put the knob back on and you turn it a bunch of times, and then you're going to take the knob off again and spray some more Deoxit down in there to flush it out. You can do that for a lot of your different electronics. Again, make sure they're not plugged in, and then usually what I do is I wait 24 hours before I wait till the next day to go ahead and test them out again. I think on the container or on the can it says you can actually test it after a couple of minutes, but I just like to wait. So Deoxit, it's a great product. They sell other stuff besides spray. They have like different types of other products you can use, and this works great. So hopefully this helps, and if you have any questions, leave them down below for me.